Hello, hi, welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things music-y. It's that time of year where we have to reflect, think back, look at what we've been listening to. I already did a list last week looking at, I wasn't listening to, I was looking at a list of the top 10 album releases of 2024 for me. But that doesn't tell the whole story. That only tells the story about the 2024 releases. I've listened to so much more stuff. So this is a list. This is a top 20, although probably 20 to 10 will be a bit sort of just in there. They're not in any order. But beyond that, I think I'm going to try and sort of order them. So this is my top 20 listens of this year, but not released this year, and they're albums. Okay, so the only stipulation is that they can't have been released this year. So with that said, let's whiz through these because there's quite a few. There's a pile of 20 here. So as I say, these are not in any order at the minute. This first bit, this is just where they fall, so they're just outside the top 10. So first of all, we have this. This is Fish with the album Sunsets on Empire. One of the first things I listened to, I think, at the beginning of the year. Absolutely, from a lyrical point of view, it's just perfection. And the arrangements, the working together between Fish and Stephen Wilson paid dividends. It's a fabulous album. I listened to this, as I say, earlier in the year. If you don't know it, go and look at it because it's bloody brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love it to pieces. The other next one, again, this is another CD, is a band called Agalloch. Now, no longer, I don't think. But this is a request from Maraxis Arcanist right early on in the year. It's a bit sort of post-metal, post-rock, very, very noisy, soundscapey. I don't know how to describe it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've listened to 2 albums by this band actually, but this is the one which has made it into the top 20. It's called The Mantle, and it's brilliant. Next up, last one of the CDs for this section, then we'll be on to LPs. This is Spock's Beard. The album is called The Kindness of Strangers. You kind of know what you're going to get with Spock's Beard. You're going to get brilliance. That pretty much is assured. And they are one of the sort of most prolific and reliable prog rock bands of the later time of the sort of late 90s, 2000s. I mean, this is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We still have Neil Morse in the band at this stage. Who else is in here? This is 2004. It doesn't matter. It's just brilliant. Oh, here we go. So Neil Morse, Alan Morse, Dave Meros, Rilo Okamoto, and Nick DiVigilio. All pretty much household names in this sphere. It's fab. Absolutely fab. Right, on to the LPs. So the first one I'm going to have is this. This is Caravan. For girls that go plump or get plump in the night. For girls who grow plump in the night. I'm going to say, Jim, get the title right. Wonderful album. Very much along the lines of Waterloo Lily or In the Land of Pink and Grey. We've got Pye Hastings on here and Dave Sinclair still continuing on the work they were doing on the older albums. It's brilliant. It's fabulous. It's quirky. It's very English. It's Caravan. Next up is Uriah Heep. So this is a fairly new band to me in the last couple of years. I've known about them obviously forever, but I've never really got around to listening to them. I was not aware that there was another Deep Purple style band out there as good as this, and it really is. This is another amazing record. Bit of Roger Dean artwork going on there. If you like Deep Purple, you will love this. Next up, this is Amorphis. They come from Finland. and they have made this album called Queen of Time, and it was brought to my attention again by Marax's Arcanist as an answer to the question: if Opeth is the question, what? If Opeth is the Swedish question, what is the Finnish answer? The Finnish answer is amorphous. It's genius, brilliant, progressive metal, and it does what it needs to do. It's so cool. Anyway, go and check that out if you've not heard it. Okay, I'm getting to the last few of these. This is a band which released this album last year. This is Orbit Culture, and the album is called Descent. Very dark, very heavy, cool as anything. Pretty much the next big thing in metal. They have been for some time, but they are absolutely amazing. Yes. Oh, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Not so brutal, but equally brilliant is this. This is Sick Boy from Ren. So this is very, very different from the rest of the music. It's hip hop, and it's not something I'd ordinarily have tried to sort of find out about and listen to. But I've been sucked into the Ren rabbit hole, as it were. I'm very, very excited to hear his music. It's not quite. You probably already know, but it's not the same as a lot of other hip hop. It's very personal. It's very, 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 very well written. The lyrics are just sensational. Anyway, we've not got a lot of time to keep talking about this stuff, so I'm going to keep rattling on. This one is JPL Sapiens, Chapter 1. It's first part of 3. So I haven't listened to the other two yet. I have them, but this is the first one. We listened to this on the channel. Obviously, that's the other stipulation. These all have to have been listened to on the channel. I don't know, 6 months ago. It's fab. It's French. I can't really understand what he's singing about, but that really matter. You kind of get the gist. It's about the evolution of humanity, leaving the planet, seeking out life on other worlds. It's all very proggy and very, very prog rocky, and it's very good. And the final one in this section, this is going to be number 11, is IQ, Road of Bones. Oh man, this is such a good record. Such a good record. Again, another band that I'm sort of aware of, but not aware of their stuff. And boy, oh boy, is it good. It's dark and delicious and thoroughly modern and proggy and just awesome. It's really, really, really good. We listened to this earlier on in the year. If you don't know it and you're interested, go and have a look at the videos. Right. So, let's get this round. Oh, bosh. Right. Now, most of these are, let's see. Oh, my microphone. There we go. Bring that back again. So I'm going to have to try and do... Right, so I'm going to do these. I think these are going to be in about the right order. I think initially it doesn't matter too much, but we will get there. So, number 10 is Tubular Bells. It's been around forever, this, isn't it? Of course, I've known bits and pieces from it, but I've never sat down and listened to the album before. It was sensational. This came out as Album of the Month a few months ago. Oh, we haven't done that for a while, have we? I will be bringing Album of the Month back in January, but with a twist. So I'll keep your eyes out for that, because I'm going to do a little announcement about that soon. But yeah, so Tubular Bells from Mike Oldfield. It's a classic for a reason. But oh my God, is it a sensational album? It's just so clever. Absolutely brilliant. Love it to pieces. Tubular Bells, Mike Oldfield. Number 9. I Vigilante. This is by Crippled Black Phoenix. So this is one of the sort of the slightly lesser known bands that that I get round to featuring and listening to and loving. Listen to a lot of this band now, and I absolutely love the stuff that they're doing. It's very, 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 very prog rocky. Lots of influence from Floyd in there. Lots of influence from much darker stuff as well. So it's a proggy, metally, doomy, shoegazy mixture of loveliness. It's just wicked. This is called I Vigilante. It's 6 tracks long, and it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Next up, what was that? Number 9. Number 8 is going to be this, The Gathering, If Then Else. So I owed it to myself to listen to this. In fact, I owed it to you all to listen to this. The Gathering is by name only known to me because of Annika as the vocalist. I've never sort of actually then got round to listening to the stuff. I just knew she was in it. My pretty much sole knowledge of her work is with Devon Townsend, plus a little bit with Arian. But I did know she was the voice of this band, but I'd never listened to them. Oh God, it's good. It's so good. I don't know why I left it so long to listen to this, but it's absolutely flipping brilliant. A little bit metal, quite a lot alt rock. It's in English, although they're all Dutch. Most stuff seems to be in English, doesn't it? I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky with how that's all panned out for me. But yes, this is a genius record. It's really, really good. I have more at some stage. I shall be listening to those as well, but not now. So what's that? So how many have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Let's do one of these ones. I've got some CDs here. This one. Pain of Salvation. In the Passing Light of Day. This was a request from Rudy, although a lot of people had spoken about this. It's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing, this album. If you don't know, it's the story of the singer Daniel, his brush with death, having contracted some sort of flesh-eating bug that sort of started to eating him away, and how close he came to dying, and reflection on life, on death, on his own mortality, on family, on God. It's all in there, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing record. I heartily recommend you listen to it. It's just brilliant. Pain of Salvation, In the Passing Light of Day. Right, another CD. I think I'm going to do this one now. This is another one which I've championed, actually, but it's a late one to me. It is Vienna Circle. So this came to me via Bill, and it was an absolute revelation to me. Absolutely brilliant record. Very, very much under the radar, unknown. Paul, the guy who is the main dude behind this, has a regular job, and this is kind of like a hobby, I suppose. But it's, I don't know. That's an unfair way of saying it, because it makes it out that it's just something you do on the side. But we all know how much of a passion music is for anyone who's involved in it. So the regular job funds this. This is really one of the best records I've heard in years. It's so good, and it's very, very, very Floydy, very classic 1970s Floyd sounding, but it's got influences and inspiration from all of those bands of the era. You have Rush, yes. There's bits of Genesis sprinkled in there, lots of Floyd. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. even sort of things like Fleetwood Mac or Supertramp, you'll hear bits and pieces of that in there. Get it, listen to it. It's brilliant. All right. We're at the top 5. We are at the top 5. So coming in at number 5 is Wheel, Resident Human. Oh boy, was this a good record. So, I don't know when this came out. It's a few years ago, but it should have been on my radar a lot sooner. They sound like a combination of I don't really know what. There's a lot of Tool influence in there. Tool, Porcupine Tree, maybe even a little bit of I don't know, some other sort of metally stuff. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my goodness, why did I leave it so long before listening to this? It's, there's only a limited amount of time in the year, isn't there, that you can listen to music. But this has come out in my top 5. It's Resident Human by Wheel, and it's amazing. Coming in at number 4, A Farewell to Kings by Rush. I don't think I really need to talk too much about how good this is. I think that's going to be the case for certainly one or two more of these. A Farewell to Kings, Xanadu, Closer to the Heart, Cinderella Man, Madrigal, Cygnus X1. My God, what a collection of tunes! It's almost like a greatest hits album in its own right, isn't it? It's absolutely phenomenal. I know 2112 was at the beginning of the year, but I knew a substantial amount of that record first, so I can't really include that as a first listen, whereas most of this was new to me, and it is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And puts Rush rightly at the sort of the higher echelons of the progressive rock metal leaderboard, if there is such a thing. There shouldn't be, but you know what I mean. Right, number 3. What's it going to be? It's going to be this. Advent Horizon. I think this might have been the very first thing I listened to this year on the channel. A Cell to Call Home. Completely new to me. Completely new to a lot of people. Advent Horizon is the band of Riley McDonald. I spoke to him earlier in the year. We had a chat online. I have the interviews out there somewhere. Really young band. Come from Utah in America. This is their first proper decent record. And the first I've ever heard. And absolutely incredible. Came out of nowhere and did the same as maybe No Spoon did last year for me, just sort of completely out of left field. Where did this come from? Why does everybody not know this record? You should. It's got everything on it. It's absolutely phenomenal. A lot of the other records on this list are well known to people, but there's a couple of bands on here. Vienna Circle, Advent Horizon, who are probably less well known and really need to be on people's radar because they are that good. So do yourself a favour, check them out. Absolutely brilliant. Number 2. Oh, yes, it's this. Ooh, where do you start? Where do you start with The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway? What a monumental opus. Really, I mean, it's vast in every single possible way. The story, the realization of it, the writing, the length. It's epic, absolutely epic, with a capital EPIC. Peter Gabriel's finest moment, I guess, with with Genesis, and got to this stage. I have nothing else to say with the band. There's nothing else can top it. So he left, but it is sensational, absolutely sensational. It's a long listen. And there's a lot to take in, and it requires multiple listens because there's just so much background stuff happening, details, intricacies of the story, characters, nuance. It's Genesis. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which means there can be only one. We get to the number one listen of the year. Dream Theater. Oh, what a record this is. Images and words. I had no idea how good this was going to be. I knew it was going to be good. Of course I did. It's Dream Theater. I know how lauded they are, how revered they are, how important they are to a great many people. But I don't think I was quite prepared for this record, how incredible it sounds. And I can't imagine what it must have sounded like when you, if you heard it in the sort of first few months or years after it was released back in the 90s. It was just sounded like nothing else out there. And it's absolutely blown me away. I have to thank you, Rudy, so much for encouraging me and giving me a little gentle push to listen to this. It's been brilliant, and my journey with Dream Theater, I feel, has properly begun now. It's silly because I've heard an album or two of Dream Theaters along the way. I've heard quite a lot of songs along the way, but I've not done it properly. I've not gone back and listened to not the debut album. But it is the album really where Dream Theater was reborn and became what it is today. It's the starting point of their journey, and I only listened to it recently. It's ridiculous. It made an impression on me. It has to be said. It's a bonkers, brilliant, incredible album. The musicianship is off the charts. The composition is incredible. The overall sound is spectacular. I know I'm preaching to the converted, but just in case I'm not, really, this is one of the best albums ever. It really is. And I had the good fortune to listen to it this year. There we go. That's my top 20 moments of the channel. Well, listens of the channel. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you all on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim. Over and out.